Before I go into Lacanian drives, I'd like to return to Barthes for a moment, again to his book The Pleasure of the Text. Another theory he defined in the book was timesis, a concept revolving around how a person reads a text at different levels of intensity. Barthes described how we lust for moments of bliss whilst reading. Our mind is constantly looking for the next time it will experience pleasure from a text. Because of this, we read different parts of text with differing amounts of intensity, brushing over dialogue and non-significant events in favour of finding the next satisfying part of a text. But when we find that moment of pleasure, we are not satisfied, as it is impossible to be completely satisfied. The only thing we can do is continue reading semi-passively until we find the next moment of pleasure. Lacan also touched on this pursuit of pleasure and satisfaction in his work on drives. He describes that we have a yearning to return to nostalgic moments, describing it, and I quote, as the craving for the return to the jouissance inscribed in the newborn child, as the passage from helplessness to safety, and whose model and object is his first contact with the nipple. Essentially, amongst our drives for food, water and sleep, there is a drive to return to earlier moments in our life, the earliest example being to return to the protective state of an infant cradled by a mother. As we grow older, we gather more moments of Barthian bliss that we subconsciously want to return to. We all possess this nostalgic drive. Lacan further explains this phenomena by saying the drive is a factor that on finding close the regressive path to the encounter with the lost object, the object of desire, is left with no alternative but to press forward, truly without perspective of ever ending the march of reaching the goal. In this sense, the drive is jouissance. Lacan explains that there is no satisfaction gained from experiencing these memories, however there is a joy in pursuing them, in trying to re-experience them. As Barthes highlighted in The Pleasure of the Text, bliss can only be experienced once, but becomes a pleasure to reminisce about. The audience of an animation wants to reminisce about these past events. The medium allows for a wide variety of methods to stimulate this yearning to return to a moment of bliss.